Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Y'all, we're back. We're back with another one. We're going to take a long walk today on the dark side of TikTok. Let's have some fun. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
What in the hell do these people do for a living? I mean, really? What in the hell do you do for a living? Where you work? You work several part-time jobs? You work overtime? Are they hiring?
The best teacher to wake you up is Mother Earth. The best teacher is the water, the trees, the wind. To look outside and say, this is real. This is real. Without this, you can't live. That's when your true religion starts, because we're intertwined together. You know, we need them as much as, you know, they need us. But with respect. We work together. We help each other. So I just say that to the people out there. You already have it. You don't have to look for it. But go there and greet yourself. Go there. Go there. And then as you're in those deep sleeps, it will begin to talk to you. Because the wind speaks through the trees when the trees make the noise. And then in a deep sleep, then it's translated. Then it gives you visions. There's times that the wind will hit the tree and it'll sound like somebody talking to you. That's what we lost, because we were colonized and we're all forced to live in this capitalist world. So if I could leave that for anybody, you know, around the world, is don't forget that, because it was everywhere. Not just here among Native people. It was everywhere. And the only reason why we know it is because they're trying to make us like them, where we turn off the volume and we hear nothing from Mother Earth. And we look at it as a commodity. We look at it as a resource. We sell it. That's what they want to teach us. Scary.
I like it.
Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, Excellencies, dear laureates, ladies and gentlemen. This year, the Nobel Committees in Physics and Chemistry have recognized the dramatic progress being made in a new form of artificial intelligence that uses artificial neural networks to learn how to solve difficult computational problems. This new form of AI excels at modeling human intuition rather than human reasoning, and it will enable us to create highly intelligent and knowledgeable assistants who will increase productivity in almost all industries. If the benefits of the increased productivity can be shared equally, it will be a wonderful advance for all humanity. Unfortunately, the rapid progress in AI comes with many short-term risks. It has already created divisive echo chambers by offering people content that makes them indignant. It is already being used by authoritarian governments for massive surveillance and by cybercriminals for phishing attacks. In the near future, AI may be used to create terrible new viruses and horrendous lethal weapons that decide by themselves who to kill or maim. All of these short-term risks require urgent and forceful attention from governments and international organizations. There is also a longer-term existential threat that will arise when we create digital beings that are more intelligent than ourselves. We have no idea whether we can stay in control, but we now have evidence that if they are created by companies motivated by short-term profits, our safety will not be the top priority. We urgently need research on how to prevent these new beings from wanting to take control. They are no longer science fiction. Thank you.
Pakistan.
So you got to be a billionaire just to sit and get a plate there, right? But the guy that won the Nobel Peace Prize created, or it's the godfather, I don't know if he created, the godfather of what he's telling is going to ruin humanity, and he won the Nobel Peace Prize. How terrible is that?
In India.
Do you really think this is the start of the end?
I have no idea where I am. Of course it is. The World War II order was it's like control rods keeping the world from going super critical.
The world's smallest drone, the Mosquito. If they got things down to the Mosquito level and they're drones, you already know you ain't hide nothing.
China is unveiling one of its tiniest military drones yet, a Mosquito-sized aircraft apparently designed for battlefield surveillance. The tiny unmanned aircraft fits between 2 fingers. It flies using a pair of flapping leaf-shaped wings and can perch using 3 hair-thin landing legs. Claim is the drone's compact size allows it to stay hidden while gathering intelligence in urban or sensitive environments. The drone packs power systems, sensors, and control circuits into its tiny frame, pushing the limits of micro-robotic engineering. The U.S. Air Force is also working on micro-UAVs, though no operational versions have been publicly fielded so far. Beyond the battlefield, scientists see potential for minute drones in fields like medicine, disaster response, and environmental monitoring.
And ice makers.
Monitoring. Harvard's RoboBee project, for example, developed insect-sized drones that can fly, land, and even transition between water and air. But on the battlefield, these ultra-small drones could become a new tool for silent surveillance, giving militaries eyes where traditional systems can't reach.
So now you're telling me that it has been approved in Japan, the ability to mix animal and human DNA, therefore splicing it and creating animal-human hybrids that are allowed to come to term. Now I'm going to let you marinate that for just a second. Are you good? Are we ready to cook this chicken? Now, the reason behind it is it's supposed to potentially help with human organ donors and transplants. Therefore, if you needed a heart, a liver, a lung, a kidney, you would have access to that quicker, because if you know anything about that, it is a very lengthy process and a very challenging one for those who need organs. But there are some huge red flags and a lot of skepticism attached to it, because they're not entirely sure what the human cells will potentially do to the animal brain. And then there's also the whole thing of religion. I swear every day I wake up, I'm like, what sci-fi movie did I just get a starring role on? What timeline did we just jump on? What universe are we currently residing in? So what do you think? Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Let me know. Put it in the comments. And obviously this is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only, but we need to talk about this.
Massive earthquakes, plagues of locusts, and flooding all over Kyiv? But it's so much deeper than that. Just wait till I show you. And of course, it's all unrelated. Are y'all aware that right now we have a massive pattern of earthquakes all around, Alaska going into Russia? You cannot tell me this whole situation is looking super revelatic right now. Not a real word. Be quiet, we know. But wait till I show you this. Completely unrelated, 1000%. The deputy of staff at the White House felt it necessary, just 2 hours after all these earthquakes, to make 2 posts on Twitter and say, I'm in Alaska. What are the odds? I mean, come on, 1 in a million? Unrelated, y'all should look up all the big things that they work on in Alaska. Unrelated again, what in the world is going on with all the earthquakes in this little part right here? I mean, it's just super problematic, right? And then, of course, the timing. We have floods in Kyiv at the same exact time, but not just floods, we have the locust, as if we're in Egypt itself. But let me tell you something. A couple years back, we had a crazy locust outbreak around Mecca, right? Do you know what happened after that outbreak? There was massive flooding. And at the same time, one of their signature buildings was hit by lightning, much like, wow, and irrelevant. Watch Buffalo, because we see this thing shoot out over Lake Erie. Pretty weird, right? No telling what that could be.
And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need, is not just exposure to one guy,
One dad.
One dad. No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be
like,
everything.
he can't be everything. And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out of line, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah, yeah.
Obama came out. I'm not a fan of his policies or anything whatsoever. I'm not a fan of him at all. But I will tell you this. He greeted and shook everyone's hand in that room. And there was a lot of people. He went to every single person. When we went to the hangar to offload the C-17s with all these caskets, he stood at a hand salute, a very crisp one, the whole time. We're sitting down because we're like exhausted. Our backs are killing us from the pain of just operating. And that dude did not move. He was just... As much as I don't agree with his policies and all that corruption I think that he's maybe involved in, he earned some respect from me on that day. I have to give that to him. I saw it with my own eyes.
If you drink twice a week, you are always in alcohol withdrawal, and that heightens anxiety. The material I was dealing with was already making me plenty anxious without having any chemical addition. And then I also lost the ability to make fine distinctions, which you need to do if you're editing. So, and I'm a careful editor. I test all the sentences that I put down to see if they're fireproof. And to do that, especially as you progress towards a completed document, you have to be able to make fine judgments, and any impairment interferes with that. And so I would edit for hours and make it worse.
That's true, y'all. When I used to drink, let's just say I start drinking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday, maybe a little chelada on Sunday, right? Tall can for a barbecue at my mom's. So Thursday I would start drinking. All right, Sunday a little tall can of some chelada, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I'm starting to feel a little better, right? 3 days eating clean, working out, running, start feeling good. Here's Thursday, boom. Like I was just stuck in that trap, and I'm sure a lot of us are still stuck in that trap. I am with eating, y'all. I'm starting to get better, doing a lot better consistently. But man, that drinking was a hard monkey to get off my back, y'all. But I don't even know what I am. 4 or 5 years, not a sip of alcohol. Not bad. Never would have thought I'd see the day.
Jeffrey Epstein's leaked Spotify playlists from his personal account give a disturbing insight into his mind. So years ago, Business Insider published an article identifying Jeffrey Epstein's personal Spotify account, which you can see here was JEE Vacation on Spotify. And they found a lot of different playlists that he had created on there, and in the article they explore these in depth. For example, here is a playlist that Epstein had created on his account. As you can see, it's titled Paris Flight. This was probably for a flight that he took to Paris. And there are just some disturbing song choices throughout all of this. For example, Hot for Teacher, especially when you know that Jeffrey Epstein was a teacher at the Dalton School in the 70s. Good Vibrations. There are crime scene photos showing boxes of vibrators discovered in Jeffrey Epstein's West Palm Beach mansion. He had the song Before You Accuse Me by singer Eric Clapton on a playlist, an entire comedy album by Louis C.K. titled Hilarious, but most disturbingly on the playlist was a song titled Little Girls by the band Oingo Boingo, which obviously is a song that is just a song, but when taken in the context of Jeffrey Epstein, takes on an entirely new, more twisted meaning. He also, in some of these playlists, had a lot of EDM like Tiesto and LMFAO, and just a lot of electro music. So when was he playing this music? What were these playlists used for? I guess those were some of the secrets that he took with him to his grave. If you want to hear me talk more about topics like this in depth, check out my channel, The Conspiracy Files, or you can listen to the show on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Like, look at how much 4K TVs once cost and how much they cost now. Like, the prices start going down.
No,
Because
the price. No. See, that is true, but them prices not going down because 4K TVs. Just it's because when they first came out, people like when it was the hot shit.
It's like
They're
a
just like
PlayStation.
back
Supply
when
and
everybody
demand.
started getting technologies back in the day. Home invasions was crazy, like really crazy. Not saying people don't do it; it's crazy, but not saying people don't do it now. But it's so less now because it's like, who don't have that in their house now?
But you know what happened? I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. Samsung TVs and all that, they wanted to charge $1,000, and then a company called TCL came out.
Yeah,
$300 because the profit margin was so large for Samsung that another company came in and said, you know what, we don't have to have that type of profit margin to become millionaires.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what happens. So that creates a downcrease because it's undercutting.
Yeah.
It's undercutting. That's what happens.
That's the game.
That's why things end up going cheaper. It's because it's these other companies that's like, I don't need that far of a profit margin.
Yeah, I get that.
It's the same with the gym game, right? Like, I remember LA Fitness, man, it used to be like $200 to sign up and then $50 a month. And then Planet Fitness came around, $10. EOS came around, $10. Guess what happened to LA Fitness? Now, not all of them, but I know where I was at, they turned into eSporta. And guess how much those gyms were to join? $10. Took over the game, y'all. I ain't going to work out over there $150 when I can go to EOS and get like the same machines, if not better, for $10. Change the game. Change the gym game. LA Fitness is probably going out of business. Now, they're still around, but there's not many, especially, well, I know from where I'm at in Arizona, where I was, they all turned to eSporta. This is crazy right here, y'all. Look at that. They're jumping out. She pans around and looks at all this, like the Titanic, the movie. Can you imagine being in the ocean right there? People are just jumping out. I think this was in Indonesia. Look at, that's crazy. Couldn't imagine. Couldn't imagine.
Barcelona. Aduh, so api, kebasar api.
Imagine being on there with your kid and your wife.
Bro.
Having to jump in the water with a 6-month-old. Like my boy having to jump in the water.
Actor Malcolm Warren, who's most notably known from The Cosby Show, who played Theo, has ultimately passed away, y'all, at the age of 54. Damn, y'all, that's sad, fool. Life just throw curveballs at you unexpectedly. Now, per reports, I'm hearing he passed away from an accidental drowning, y'all. I don't know too much information, but that's all they're saying at this moment. If y'all want to stay updated, all you got to do is hit that follow button. But like I said, that's a sad, sad situation. I never want to go like that, y'all. And I wouldn't want nobody to experience drowning. And that's why I want everybody to learn how to swim. With all these floods going around, nobody ever know what situation you might be in. So y'all, go take swimming lessons, y'all. Now, I don't know if he knew how to swim or if he didn't know how to swim. I'm just saying in general, if you don't, now is a good time to learn how to swim. R.I.P. and I'm sending my condolences to everybody who was affected by this tragic passing.
Can't quite.
He ended up, I believe he probably knew how to swim. How he drowned was a riptide. He got caught in a riptide and the current took him out. It just hit me. Mama Bear and her whole family doesn't know how to swim. And she's always doing cruises. Like, I would not do a cruise if I didn't know how to swim. That'd be the last type of vacation. I'm going to have to talk to her and get her to learn how to swim, y'all.
I'm saying this, but we actually know
Just
what's
hit me.
inside Area 51. One of the biggest mysteries out there, what actually is Area 51? What is inside the damn place? Is there alien spacecrafts, actual aliens? Who knows? Well, this guy, David Cree, might have the answer. In major breaking news over the last couple of days, it's been reported multiple Area 51 staff have died from the same disease after being on this top secret project. Now, David, the guy in the photo, came out on a panel which was published yesterday, saying that when he worked there, he was exposed to chemicals and radiation which no human should be, and that for years they've been doing this, and that is what has been killing the people there recently. Now, he actually claims that 490 of his colleagues have passed away from this, and although he wouldn't say specifically what they were working on in there, of course, he did have some hints. With all the information that he provided, people online have been theorizing about what could actually be going on inside, saying that it's likely something tech-related or bioweapon-related. With people being exposed to radiation and these extremely strange viruses that have never been there before, theory suggests that they could be cooking things up in there that no human should ever have, or testing things that have very bad side effects. Only a couple of days ago as well, Area 51 was on fire, with a lot of people putting this in with the theory going, hang on a minute guys. So let me know your thoughts and I will keep you updated.
Yo, these plane crashes are insane. Did y'all see that there was a plane crash in Bangladesh? But not only was it a plane crash in Bangladesh, this plane crashed into a school. But not only did it crash into a school, it crashed into a school that was in session. Yes, people were at the school. It was a college mixed in with a high school, and people were there. Like, students were there. And even more news, 19 people have been unalive. Yes, those are including those who were on the plane and a lot of them who were in the classrooms during the time of the crash. Over 100 people injured, and then they're also still searching for people in the rubble. What is going on with these plane crashes? Like, it's nonstop. It's nonstop plane crashes or nonstop something that's happening with the plane. Even a plane in LA caught on fire. What is going on with the planes? Is it the skies? Is it the planes? Is it the people? The amount of plane crashes we are having right now has never been heard of before. The frequency in which we are seeing plane crashes happen, this has never happened before. So what is going on? As always, prayers up for those who lost their lives or are injured or family members and things like that. We're always going to pray for these people. But this is, not only is it sad, but it's just so confusing because what is going on? People just sitting in class. One of my greatest fears has already happened. It didn't happen to me, but it happened, was a plane crashing into a residential neighborhood. Like, I'm playing outside when I was a kid. I used to fear planes flying over, and then it actually... And now you've seen some hit residential neighborhoods. And now my second one is it crashing into a school and it just happened. These are my childhood fears coming to real life in 2025.
This guy buys storage units, abandoned storage units, goes through them, shows what he gets, right?
Yeah.
Tries to flip a profit.
Sounds fun.
So he does this unit. He goes to the first box. He opens it. It was a couple computer chargers and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. The next box, simple. It was like another thing of cards, and there was like more electronics. I'm like, all right, this is the thing of a nerd, right? He goes to a big box that says shoes. He opens it. Every single pair of shoes in this. Gucci.
Oh my God.
Balenciaga.
Oh yeah.
Givenchy.
Oh yeah.
Lavins. Straight designer shoes.
Nice.
He goes to a box of clothes. All designer. And he keeps saying the guy's name, because the guy's name was Gio.
Yeah.
The guy, like the unit. The guy that owned his name was Gio.
Sure.
It was on the box.
Sure.
He opens a fourth box. There's a triple beam balance scale.
Oh my God.
There's a passport.
Oh yeah, I know what's going on.
There's a second passport.
Oh my God.
There's a third passport. There's like 20 credit cards.
Okay.
There's like it was a crown bag. There's a crown bag of credit cards.
You went to Scarface's storage unit.
Literally, in the comments said, thought we were getting a Brennan, we got a Pablo. Yeah.
Forgotten Plague, you guys remember that? Of course you don't. This is a sickness that has mysteriously shown up and mysteriously left, and no one knows what the cause of it was and what happened and why it happened. In 1916 from 1930, over those years, millions of people all around the world were mysteriously passing out, falling asleep, falling into comas. Some of these people, comas for years. The illness literally started with sore throats, tiny headaches, all these things. People would be eating at home, chewing their food, and then would just pass out. And they had no idea what caused it. And so they called it the sleeping plague, forgotten plague, obviously. Now, there was no correlation to what people were eating, where people were at. So there was a lot of like conspiracy behind biological warfare. But a lot of it happened in the UK, but it happened all over the world. I think over 100,000 people died. But in 1930, it just stopped. And it just never happened again. They don't know what caused it. They don't know why it went away. Nothing happened. There's no logical reason. So when people would wake up, some of the people that would actually wake up that wouldn't pass away, they'd wake wake up with neurological disorders, Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Some people literally had different personalities and different accents.
Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah, and then it just disappeared one day. And we've just, I mean, I don't remember ever learning about this.
What if time travel exists and they're testing vaccines in the past?
There actually is a tiny conspiracy within that of time travelers. and
Wow,
stuff. Yeah.
that's so interesting.
I mean, it's just scary to think that we would just have no reason for it. We would never be able to understand it. And then we just like, okay, move on.
So what would you say is Subway's secret to success? So we just straight up lie to people. No, but really. So we have a lawsuit against us because a foot long that we sold wasn't a foot long. Our tuna isn't tuna. And then our bread. What about the bread? According to the FDA, it's not bread. But you still say it's bread? I mean, if I said no, then I'd be lying to you. So you really do. You guys just straight up lie to people. Yes, that's correct. Wait, so if I ordered a $5 footlong tuna on wheat bread, it wouldn't be a footlong, it wouldn't be tuna, and it wouldn't be wheat bread, and it wouldn't be $5. But your $5 footlong commercials, it's just part of the lie.
Countries around the world got absolutely battered this week. In Halong, Vietnam, 38 people died last night after a massive tropical storm capsized a tourist boat, with the torrential rain and huge hailstones severely impacting the search for survivors. In Ajmer, India, people were seen literally getting swept away on the streets while shop owners and bystanders tried to pull them to safety after the region was hit with nearly 130% more rainfall so far in this year's monsoon season. Bucharest, Romania was hit with such an extreme storm on Thursday that it triggered code red and code orange alerts across 15 different counties. Local media describe the scope of these alerts as unparalleled in recent history. In Washington, D.C., today, torrential rain has caused floods and prompted water rescues. Over the weekend in Alberta, Canada, thunderstorms lit up the sky and flooded the streets, causing power cuts and traffic chaos. Just outside of Ankara in Turkey, floods got so bad that they burst through freaking apartment walls and swept away cars. And certain regions in South Korea this week were hit with the heaviest rainfall per hour in more than 120 years. At least a dozen people have died, thousands have been evacuated, landslides have destroyed villages, and thousands have become homeless after their houses were destroyed. All of that in less than a week. And I've probably missed a bunch. It's not normal, but it's the new normal.
WNBA All-Star Game tonight, everybody's watching. They came out wearing the shirt that says, "Pay us what you owe us." That included Caitlin Clark and everybody that was on the WNBA All-Star team. And yeah, okay, they're in a, I'm trying to gather my thoughts and process. They're in a negotiation right now for the CBA. That's something that a league and the Players Association has to come to with the WNPA, WNPA's Women's National Basketball Players Association. Right now, those players are negotiating, as players associations do, and they want an increase on things, say, from a $250,000 max contract to $1 million max contract, increase the salary cap, a lot of things like that. There's a few other aspects that they're arguing for, but that's what they're bringing to the table. Now, we don't know the exact financials of the WNBA. In October, it was reported by the New York Post that each team's losing around $40 million a year. However, there is a belief that the new media rights deal will help them with that bottom line. And players like Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Asia Wilson, like these players will really help. This CBA that I was talking about
I like Paige
is
Becker, man.
up
She can
in
hoop.
October of this year, so they need to figure that out before the next season, or there will be a lockout. This has happened in the NBA before other leagues. It's not uncommon. The NBA is probably coming to the table with their owners and saying, hey, like, we've been subsidizing this league for a very long time, and now you're making demands, and we don't think we can really cash those checks that you want us to cash. The most recent offer from the NBA was quote unquote disrespectful. I think that's what Breanna Stewart said. I think she's the head of the WNBA PA. So yeah, that's what those shirts were about. Try to give a level-headed explanation and analysis for you.
They say there's like 8,000 satellites floating around space.
Ain't no space. Dang, ain't no space.
Is there air?
Not like they say air is information. So, yes, but no.
So what's under the water? What's an ocean?
Good you asked that. Now, what separates everything is water, right? So you think it's like this. So it's like this. So imagine, I wish I could show you, but imagine this. Everything like this, place, water, another firmament, place, what they call it the 7 layers of heaven. What they call it, the 7 layers of heaven, something like that. But it's like all kind of water and shit between it. And there's different layers, how they keep the stacked up like dominoes. It's like God keeps us, right? The prison, it's a jail cell. Gang, we live in a cell, in a prison, and we stacked up on top of each other in bunks. I swear, a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know, but it's the truth. Look it up.
So you mean to tell me a group of kids saw beings coming out of the skies with wings that were colorful during this tornado in Joplin, Missouri? They were described as humanoid figures with very colorful, bright butterfly-looking wings. They had seen these beings coming out of the skies during the tornado and rescuing people. The people who were not able to be rescued, the ones that died, were being taken up into the skies by these beings. This was a Category EF5 tornado. It happened on May 22nd, 2011 in Joplin, Missouri. 158 people died. There was a ton of destruction throughout this entire city. When these kids first started coming out and saying they saw these beings with wings, people associated it with a trauma response. But here's the thing, it wasn't just one group of kids that saw this. It was a handful of kids from all over the city, and each of their statements had the same similarity. Each of these kids said that their parents were praying when these beings came out of the skies. Many people say that these were extraterrestrials. Others believe that these were guardian angels. What do you think it was that the kids saw this day?
Apparently the most disgusting food, and this is coming from the late great Anthony Bourdain, that he ever tried was fermented shark from Iceland. He said there are no words to describe the putrid, disgusting smell and taste. And he's like, he couldn't imagine that people would ever acquire a taste for this. I don't remember what the history of eating those things are. I mean, it must have come from some time of great famine where this was the only thing they had.
Do y'all really believe that was Michael Jackson? Like, come on. Do y'all really believe that was Michael Jackson? Like, let's really look at this nigga.
This is Michael Jackson. Look at his facial structure. Look at his look at his lips. Look at everything, my nigga. Look, bro. My nigga, is no way in God's green earth this is Michael Jackson. It's not possible.
Dave Chappelle. Do y'all think that's Dave Chappelle? A nigga that quit. A nigga that clearly quit because he knew the system and then all of a sudden he came back to it. Niggas don't come back to something they quit, bro. Cat Williams told me out his own mouth, whenever you decide to speak up, they gonna do 2 things to you. The media is gonna try to turn the world against you. So your word don't have an opinion, or they gonna kill you and bring.
It's gas, but $200 is crazy, bro.
That's what they said. 200.
$200 motherfucking dollars, bro.
They confirmed it.
Yeah, $200. The regular. That's just the regular. That's not even the premium. Imagine if you're trying to get 2 Franklins. That motherfucker gonna cost $400. Like, you feel me? $200 for a video game, bro.
That's fucking crazy.
200, man.
You know what else I heard though? Somebody said that they trying to do something where in order to play it you gotta pay monthly.
Pay monthly.
That's what I heard a while back.
For GTA?
Yes.
So like, you gotta pay GTA monthly.
Some shit.
Yeah, I ain't fucking with no $200 game, man.
That shit is crazy.
I know somebody out there gonna game share, nigga.
So here's the video.
$200. Is that how much Grand Theft Auto 6 can be? I mean, why not? People are gonna buy it no matter what. You can put it out for $1,000. People are gonna buy it like crazy. That's going to be the biggest selling game of all time, Grand Theft Auto 6. And there's going to be a lot of millionaires that come from that game, y'all. I'm telling you guys, start streaming now. When that comes out, it's going crazy. It's going to go crazy, right? Video games are going to be back when that drops. But $200, like that's how much the PlayStation 2, I believe, cost, was $200, if I'm not mistaken. Now video games, and guess what? Everyone else is going to follow suit. Maybe not 200 because no one's really playing Call of Duty. No one's really playing Madden like that no more. Grand Theft Auto can get away with it because people will buy it. I won't buy it. I'm not really into video games, but anybody that's into video games, I'm telling you, put a webcam on, play the game. You don't even got to talk to the camera. Just play the game and just interact. I'm telling you, Free game.
Marine using a bird-like drone that's actually flapping its wings and flying through the air. Now, apparently, China's been using drones that were had characteristics of actual birds for quite some time to be used in urban environments because it would be like natural cover and concealment, water hiding in plain sight because it doesn't look like a drone from far away, and you wouldn't know it was a drone until you were like holding it right in front of you. But they could still conduct reconnaissance with it and do whatever they wanted with it. Apparently, back in 2018, they had a government program codenamed Pigeon, which they started creating drones that look like birds. Now, they didn't disclose whether or not they were going to be intended for operations in urban environments, but I would assume that they're trying to use them in any environment where they could, gain an advantage. Now, in 2022, engineers from the Middle Kingdom created a mechanical flying bird weighing 1,600 grams with a mechanical wingspan of 2 meters, and it was powered by a lithium battery and was able to stay in the air for an hour and a half. Pretty crazy stuff.
Think of the propaganda of like, if you don't go to school, you're going to be stupid. You want to be a moron? You want to be a jerk? Is that what you want to be, a zero? You want to be homeless? You want to be uneducated? Don't say uneducated. That propaganda is just as big as, do you want to kill your grandmother? How dare you not to get the shot? Don't you care about humanity? The barrage of bullying propaganda. And now you go, well, you're supposed to do this. All right, well, then you go and you're just dishing out all this money, or your parents are dishing out money, and now you spit out. How many of the people that come into here now are doing what they want to do? It's why you have so many miserable human beings that have to drink, that have to watch the ball game. That's their lives, and that's my peace, and that's my... No, it's not. Your peace was there before there was no money involved.
So, for example, with the giant statues, right?
What's the explanation for this?
They did it by hand. They do it by hand. There's many engineers, master stonemasons. A lot of them see it immediately. People that understand what it takes to both work in this material and to work at the scale that some of this stuff is worked in. They see it immediately, and they just dismiss the idea that this was done with literally pounding stones and copper chisels. It's virtual perfection.
Apparently, Harry Potter is so demonic that when exorcists go to Rome to study being an exorcist, there is a step included specifically for the demonology of Harry Potter. I was listening to a podcast of someone interviewing an exorcist and basically asking him, like, hey, like, what happened for you to become an exorcist and what were the steps? And he said, okay, well, once I witnessed my first exorcism, they sent me to Rome, and there are different steps. I had to learn about demonology. I had to learn about how to conquer a demon, and then I had to learn about how to deal with Harry Potter and its demonology. And maybe I'm like, what did he say? Interviewer was like, wait, you guys have like a whole lesson on Harry Potter? He was like, yeah, it's 2 weeks long from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and we learn about the demonology in it. And I had to look this up. I'm like, ain't no way they believe that Harry Potter is demonic. I don't remember Harry Potter, okay? But let's get into what they're talking about. So first and foremost, I didn't know J.K. Rowling was a witch. Apparently, they're saying that she went to witch school even though she denied ever going. And this exorcist claimed that she wrote a book after she went to these schools, these witch schools, and said that the spells in Harry Potter are real spells. And they're like, oh, how do you know that? He said, because we actually went and asked witches and they fucking told us they're real spells. One of the things he used as an example was he told the audience about a woman in Spain who decided to try one of the spells for fire that is included in one of the books, and it burned her house to the ground. Exorcists are also saying that 60% of the names in the Harry Potter books are the names of actual demons who have been booted out of people. He is personally familiar with a case of possession in which the person who was possessed by 5 demons who claimed they were the spirit who inspired J.K. Rowling to write the books. There's a shit ton of more in this realm of Harry Potter demonic exorcism and how it all ties into like one big ball of what the fuck. If you guys want to know more, let me know. But like, I can't be the only one that didn't know that priests go to Rome to study witchcraft in the name of Harry Potter.
Now, I've seen the first Harry Potter movie. Wasn't my thing, but I remember in 6th grade, everybody was reading those books. I've never read a book. Now, I sold them. I've sold the hardcovers for hundreds of dollars from Goodwill before, but I didn't get into Harry Potter or the Twilight. You know, my dad had me when I was growing up watching Rambo, Terminator, Missing in Action with Chuck Norris, watching Walker, Texas Rangers, not really Scarface, Goodfellas, Stand By Me. You know, after growing up on those types of movies, Harry Potter's not really your thing, you know what I mean? To each his own. If you guys like Harry Potter, hey, do your thing. But I've never been into Harry Potter. But I'll sell them books. I'll sell them.
I've never seen human beings like that. That's like being on another planet.
What is the story with that family?
Their parents were double first cousins. But in addition to that, their mother and the father side were identical twins. So it's like the same person birthed the mom and dad, even though they were different people, but they're identical twins. And then the parents were cousins on top of it.
Oh.
No, a bomb. I saw it. No plane hit nothing.
That is not a plane. They don't know what they're talking about. How would they see a plane hit that?
Dude, I saw the second explosion. That was no plane that hit the second building. It exploded from the inside out.
It was a bomb. Bomb in another building, not second plane. That was a bomb. Who said the second plane?
That's what we're told. The second plane. We saw it on television.
Everything.
All right. Thanks a lot.
What happened was I was down in the basement. All of a sudden we heard a loud bang. And the elevator doors blew open. Some guy was burnt up. So I dragged him out. His skin was all hanging off. So I dragged him out and I pulled him out of the parking lot. This was what was left on it. Pulled him out. When I pulled him out, I looked up and the second bomb blew up. Just saw a big burst.
All of a sudden, you heard a loud explosion. So we all ran to look. And the first building was a big hole on the side of it, and on the other side went in flames. So we stood there in shock. Everyone screaming. A woman collapsed on me. I had to lay her down on my textbooks. And then before you know it, out of nowhere, the next building blew up. And then all of a sudden, everyone's running all over the place, a panic attack.
We actually didn't see the second plane, but we saw the explosion hit the other tower.
It has to be a bomb, right? Yes, of course. That exploded right in front of us.
I did not see a plane. They said the plane hit the first building. The second building just exploded.
That looks like a second plane.
I did not see a plane go in. That just exploded.
Now, I was watching, we're doing a little talking today, y'all. Sorry if you guys don't like it, but I remember just recently I was watching a little, 10-minute video on YouTube of when the Diamondbacks played the Yankees in the 2001 World Series. And it was so united, y'all. Like, there was Boston fans rooting for New York. The world was rooting for New York. Unless you lived in Arizona, we were going for the Diamondbacks. But it was so united back then, y'all. It was crazy when I saw it. Nobody had their phones up when George W. threw the first pitch. There was no flashes. Like, it was just a different time. I highly suggest you guys, it's just a 10-minute video. There's tons of little documentaries on that World Series. The Diamondbacks, Arizona Diamondbacks versus the New York Yankees. We bursted the world's bubble. Of all years we had to win the damn World Series, it had to be the 2001 World Series. But check it out, y'all. It was so united. Boston was going for New York, y'all. That's saying something. The Red Sox fans were going for New York. That's how united we were.
In all my years of living, I have never seen nothing like this in my life. What is this? I'm gonna thank every tree doing this now. I thought that was the wind blowing the pans or some little cone things. Nah, fam. Look at, nah.
I just need Netflix to know that y'all ain't shit. They didn't look at this shit. Now our package is 1080p, but we can upgrade to get 4K to $24.99 a month. We're at $17.99 already.
Why?
Y'all had to find a new motherfucking way to charge niggas some more shit. Fuck y'all.
Where are
Look
you
at
from?
this shit right here.
India?
Listen.
What, you too?
Yeah.
How long have you been walking? All day?
All day.
Did you fly into Mexico and
Listen.
then walk the rest?
What?
But where did you fly into?
Have we sold our soul to the devil? How else can you explain us being here on the
About a week, not today, but about a week ago, I sold my soul.
But it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
If Jesus owns your soul, type it in the comments right now.
I panhandled before.
How much did you make?
Enough to be on pace to make $60,000 to $70,000 a year tax free.
Whoa!
I didn't even have a sign. That's why I was like, oh, I know I can really crush it if I had a sign. It helped me realize that no matter what, you can make money.
Were people nice to you?
A lot of people were nice, and there was some danger associated with it.
What happened?
Oh, there were some like gangbangers that were gonna me up.
Why?
Because they can.
It says that the highest calorie item on the Cheesecake Factory menu is the bistro shrimp pasta with 3,120 calories. Now, I don't get it because it's just pasta, shrimp, mushrooms, spinach, and a creamy Parmesan butter sauce. But keep in mind that an entire stick of butter is only 810 calories. So what the hell? Is there like 4 fucking sticks of butter in there? We might need to go to the Cheesecake Factory.
Scratching his butt. I didn't even know these were popular until I was finding clips on them, y'all. They just look creepy and evil. Like, are kids wanting those? Is there really a craze? They look evil. What the heck? Simpsons is crazy.
About government hiding things. This one's
I should've
creepy.
kept
There's
that
this
beer.
thing called Operation Often. It was within MK Ultra. It was hidden from
Can't shake
the
mine.
majority of government until 1975 to 77. The FBI director basically destroyed all evidence of MK Ultra. In December of 2024, they just released 1,200 documents. It gave more light to this thing called Operation Often. Operation Often was a joint U.S. Army and CIA project launched in the late 1960s. They went full in on hiring Satanists, witches to study and see if they could weaponize the paranormal. This is not made up. These documents came out saying that they were doing this. There are even reports that this program had files on spiritual possessions, poltergeist activity, and demonic entities.
Bro.
This is the U.S. government saying, like, let's research this and see if we can weaponize it. This was at the height of the Cold War. They're just trying to figure out anything to weaponize.
They're looking at spirituality as like a science to be harnessed.
Because they know it's real. People think black magic, witchcraft, all this stuff is baloney. But I'm like, if the government, they've been looking, now they're like, now we're going to conduct a study on it.
It just makes it that much creepier because the supernatural world is real. Demons are real. Our government was actively inviting that stuff in. It's just dark, you know? That's why we need Jesus.
Here's some crazy history you definitely did not learn in school. This is a picture of Grand Central Station in 1929. And apparently it's not possible to take a picture like this anymore because the entire station is surrounded by buildings. And obviously that would block the sun rays. If TikTok existed in the 1920s, this would have been a trend called horse manning, where you basically pretend that you're headless by having another person in the photo. I guess it was a playful way for friends to be creative. Cool. Let's not bring that back. OMG was first used in 1917. George Washington passed away with about $594 million in today's money of net worth. He was receiving a presidential salary of $25,000 or about $900,000 today. And apparently that was about 2% of the entire government's budget at the time. The old Danish criteria for common law marriage says that if you have a mistress that sleeps in your home for 3 winters and has a key, eats with you, sleeps with you, then you're married.
Our culture is going to fragment and rip apart. There's nothing we can do about it. Millennials didn't have children. I mean, look, I just had my first kid at 38. Then I turned 39. This is what millennials were doing. Now they're saying Gen Z's not going to have kids. And it's a combination of factors. They can't afford homes, so they have nowhere to raise a family. They can't. There's no way, right? There's no way someone can afford formula for 3 babies, dual income household. It's just not going to happen. It's not the only reason. I've argued, and I think it's fair to say, the pioneers, the pilgrims, they had literal nothing and they figured it out. The man did hard work all day, every day, but the other issue in play, they don't want to work. So what are you going to get? 800,000 Star Wars movies, no new intellectual property, reboot after reboot until everyone dies, and then there will be no unified American culture. I don't know where that leads us, but good luck, I guess. I suppose with the bifurcation of culture, it's the bifurcation and fracturing of our values. So we'll see. I'll leave it there, my friends. Stay tuned. Smash the like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see.
That's insane. No, I think people are still having kids, y'all. I think the people that are on social media are projecting that no one's having kids. But I don't know. Am I wrong? Do you think it's as bad as these dime pieces and these alpha men on YouTube say it is? You know what I mean? Everyone's alpha now. Everyone's a badass now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't want girls no more. Everyone's too good to get a girl. No, you just can't get a girl. You know what I mean? But is it as bad as it is? I had my first baby at 35, 34. And I'm glad, y'all. If I had my baby at 22, 23, boy, we would have struggled. I was drinking. I didn't have a good mind on my shoulders, so it works out. It's okay. You know, I was watching those interviews that they do at bars on the street and stuff, and this guy was asking this girl all these questions, and she wasn't answering. She's like, "No," and I'm like, he ended up asking like, "How old are your parents?" And she said, they're older because she was older. She was probably, I don't know, 21, 22 out there. And she said they're older. They're in their 50s or whatever, or 60s. Like they're older. And he said that I knew it because you got a good head on your shoulders. It's just different than all these girls out here that are, answering all these crazy questions and doing crazy things. Like the majority of them got young parents. They were born, their mom was 18, 19, 20 when they had her, right? So it's a good thing. I think, like, I'm so thankful that I didn't have a kid when I was 22, 23, 25, 28. You know what I mean? I'm glad I had my baby when I was 34. Worked out perfect, y'all.
Have you seen these new radar images?
I have, and I'm like...
I just talked to Graham Hancock about it this morning.
And it's legit?
Oh, he thinks it's very legit. There's an issue. And my friend Jimmy Corsetti, who runs a great YouTube show, it's called Bright Insight. It's a really good show on ancient history. He's skeptical because there's a water table that's underneath the Great Pyramid that's been there for more than 1 million years. But if this construction is built through the water table, then it's even more impressive. Let's imagine that these pillars that are supposed to be thousands of feet deep into the ground with coils around them. Like, what is that? Like, these radar images are super consistent. They have multiple images now. The science is pretty sound of whatever they're seeing. But if it is legit and it's going, like, just to have those columns that go down to, if it's going down thousands of feet into the ground, and the whole thing, I think the entire structure is 2 kilometers deep.
That's insane.
Insane. So if you have the technology to do that, you might have the technology to do that through water, which is even more crazy. So then you have a higher level of technological proficiency. What I do know is they're the most massive mystery in terms of human construction or construction by somebody. Something that you can't explain. 2,300,000 stones, some of them weighing upwards of 80 tons that were brought 500 miles away through the mountains with incredible precision. And just the mathematics involved, the planning, the fact that if you're off a millimeter on each of these stones, by the time you get up to the top, you're fucked. It's not going to be a pyramid. Like, you have to have incredible precision. It's true north, south, east, and west, each corner. The whole thing's crazy.
It's mind-numbing, which then brings in the whole alien thing, but
not just alien thing. It really brings in ancient human history. Mm-hmm. Because I'm of the belief, I'm in the school of thought of Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock and Jimmy Corsetti and a lot of these people that believe that there was a reset of human civilization. And that somewhere around 11,800 years ago, we were probably hit with a massive comet storm. There's a lot of evidence of that. It's called the Younger Dryas impact theory.
Y'all, look, bro. Like, what? Bro, this is crazy. This is crazy. Look at this.
Damn.
Bro, like, did somebody put something in the water? And it's all the way back out through there, bro. Look at all those fish. Look at all of these dead fish, bro. These are alive in this little spot, as y'all can see. Look at that, bro.
Go get game and
what
fish.
What in the world is going on? This is crazy. Look at this, like, even at my feet, bro. The minnows,
Wearing dress shoes at the
bro.
lake for.
This is the craziest. Bro, I've never seen nothing like this in my life, bro. Ever. Look even back there, bro. I've never seen anything like this in my life. What is going on?
Have you ever seen an Apache helicopter up close? And seen
No.
these pilots for Apache helicopters, we use some in loan. They're wearing, these helicopters pull up and they're just incredible looking pieces of equipment. And these 22-year-old kids are flying them, and they've got a helmet with a mask, and they call it slaving the ship to the goggles. So they activate the goggles so that wherever they turn, the helicopter turns. And where they've got eye sensors, so where their eyes go, the guns go. Right? So you look at it, you kill it. I've seen the pyramids. I've seen the Notre Dame Cathedral in France. I've seen a lot of Van Goghs. They're beautiful. I saw the Mona Lisa. That was great. Seeing this helicopter turning as the guy's head turns with the weapon systems.
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
Who's building cooler than this?
So UPS is offering severance packages to anyone that wants to voluntarily quit in its latest attempt to downsize the workforce to become more profitable, is what they're saying. Who gets severance packages as a regular worker? You hear that from like high-paying corporate jobs and things like that. You don't hear that from warehouse jobs or driver jobs. What blue-collar workers get severance pay for voluntarily quitting? And we don't even have to take it as an option they're giving us. This is part of what the union does for all of us that work under it at UPS. We have a seat at the table. They can't just do whatever they want with us. It's their private property, but we are working under a contract. This is huge. I would never take a severance package. I don't think anyone should take the severance package to voluntarily quit unless like this isn't going to be your career and you're just working the twilight to go through college. Either way, no severance package is worth a six-figure career with full benefits and up to 10 weeks of vacation off. I'm sitting on 7 weeks of vacation right now. It's not worth it. This is what we get in the union. They can't just lay us off and fire us. I mean, I'm sure maybe some of the newest hires may get laid off, and they're going to start laying off a lot of the supervisors and the management teams and anybody that's not under contract with the union. Our work is guaranteed. They can't just fire us like that. They have to offer us a severance package or something. Let's get on this, everybody. Like, this is something that this is like basic stuff that every worker should have at his or her job.
For the holiday season, I always thought most employees would rather get a check than go to a holiday party. You sure? And you know what it ends up being? No, they don't. They want the holiday party.
Can I tell you something even crazier than this? I once met a business owner. He prided himself on the fact that he paid for his employees' vacation. All of his employees and a +1 to go on vacation. That sounds incredible. The hitch is they all went together. The entire company, including the boss and everyone's +1, always went on this vacation together, and you couldn't opt out. Like, I asked him, what if somebody doesn't want to go or the timing doesn't work out? Is there a way for you to pay them what it would have cost them to go on this vacation? And he was like, they have to go. They didn't purchase anything until they got a date arranged with everybody, and then everyone had to go. Why would you want to go on vacation with people you already see 40 hours a week. You're 100% going to end up talking about work. I don't want to be around my boss when I'm trying to turn up. You know what I mean? Like, can I just get drunk and act stupid in peace? Why would I want to do that around my coworkers, my boss? You're telling me that whatever happens on this cruise, this vacation, you're not going to hold it against me when we get back to the office? I don't believe you. Just pay people. Give them a one-time bonus. Better yet, pay them a living wage. They don't want to spend time with you. We spend time at work because we need money. And it is ideal if you like some of the people that you work with, of course, because that makes the workday go by faster. It's nicer. I don't want a vacation with anybody outside of my family. Certainly not people that I work with. Pay them money. Nobody wants to come to your stupid holiday party. This same business owner also prided himself on the fact that he monitored how much paper and printer ink and paper clips were being used in the office. Got upset if the admin ordered expensive office chairs. Pay them money.
Look at the beautiful cities that we used to have in California.
Oh my God.
What's happened to them?
I used to love LA. I used to love it. Every time I went back there, I'd be like, whew, I'm back. When I travel on the road, I'd be like, thank God I'm back in LA. It's always sunny. People are cool. It's easy going. And then COVID just a big reality smack of how important government is.
Okay, so I just went down the black eye rabbit hole, and I can't unsee what I just saw because I was not even looking for it. I was just trying to do my due diligence when it came to these missing files to see what I could bring you guys that maybe you hadn't heard of. And do y'all remember when all these celebrities, these politicians, everybody had like a black scar on their eye, like somebody just clocked them, and it was just very random. But at the same time, there were all these pictures, these magazines of every celebrity. Every time they get famous or they hit like a plateau, they always do like the covering of one eye, or they do like this little symbol over one eye. And I began to look into this whole like panda symbolism, right? And they were talking about how it was cultish, but when they started to talk about what it derived from, have y'all looked into that? Because like I said, I was just looking into the files and it led me down that hole because it started talking about all of these things. And then I got to like, what's her name? Maria Abramovic. I'm not sure exactly her name, but she does like spiritual cooking, which that in and of itself was a whole different rabbit hole. But I haven't seen it in a little while. It's just that at one point, all these celebrities, all of these like politicians, everybody just had a scar. Like even Jay Leno had like his whole face was messed up, but they said that was from an accident. But like all these celebrities, I believe even the Pope at one point, it was just like the whole eye was black, and even Kanye. And then when I looked into like the background of the cultish aspect of it and what the result of that can be from, I just had to like log out and come talk to you guys. So let me know if you know what I'm talking about. Let me know if you've been down that rabbit hole. If you haven't, I'm almost afraid to say go check it out, but save this video. If you want to look into it, come back, share your thoughts. This is all alleged, can't confirm or deny any of it. It's just all hypothetical, made up in my mind, personal opinions. But yeah, brace yourself, because what is like the actual source of what it comes from, wow. The world that we live in, it makes even more sense. To bring it back to the whole files that I was looking into, it makes even more sense of why they're trying to hide these files and the names that are mentioned in it. Because if that's what these people are doing, may God have mercy, man. Or maybe he shouldn't. Like, follow, stay for some more tea.
The N-word specifically, Leo had a hard time saying the N-word. We're doing a read, and Leo said, and then he goes, "Hey man, hey guys, cut. I just can't do this. This is not me." Samuel Jackson, say that shit, motherfucker. It's just another Tuesday. Fuck them. And I told Leo, I said, Leo, you know, in slavery days, we would never talk to each other. So I'm not your friend. I'm not Jamie Foxx. I'm Django. So, and as I told him, I said, you won't be able to play that character unless you really understand what slavery was about. It was tough. It was horrific. Ain't no kikiing with slaves. So the next day, I see Leo. He walks in. I said, Leo, what's up? L, what's up? He don't speak to me. He ready. So everybody started, you know.
Actors are weird.
Digging in. Show him, Sam. Show him, Sam. Give him that range.
I count 6 shots.
And Samuel Jackson was better than all of them. He should have got an Oscar. The way he would turn it on and turn it off. Say action. Master Candy, who's this on this nag? Master Candy, I say, who is this on this next. Say cut. What you think? And I'm like, this motherfucker's an alien. I was waiting on him to do like this. But that's what the level was in this incredible movie.
And then you got Joe. I remember what he was like when he was younger, when he was pissed off.
She knows
That
everybody.
even when Pun could barely breathe, he could out-rap him.
Dead in the middle of little did we know that we riddle to middle didn't do diddle.
Now he's going to boxing matches.
People who know boxing are saying he's not gonna win, but
Going down and walking this boy down so he can get knocked out. Like he did the same thing that boxer's fight that Beyonce did to the Texans Christmas game last year.
Going so hard, gotta choose myself. Underpaid and overwhelmed.
Everybody was so excited.
Excited to see Beyonce at halftime?
Not really. Guess what? The Texans lost.
Fortunately, the Texans are losing right now.
I don't know. It seems like everybody attached to Nation is just bringing bad luck everywhere.
When you hear that allegedly Fat Joe try to do a BBL or like, when you hear that, damn.
I've seen how he played.
You gotta admit something. How many of you go to the store and actually look at the products we pull off the shelf? Why do I bring this up? Because a woman was out shopping for these kosher dill pickles from Mount Olive. She carefully looked at the glass container and found something inside that she was not expecting. As a matter of fact, take a look at this video. Check that out. Look at that floating in there with the pickles.
Now, what is that?
What is that?
Please tell me what is it.
I love pickles.
Attention to what we eat and people.
Take a look at it. Have you been able to figure out what that is? Still guessing? Here's what it looks like outside of the jar. It's actually a pickled potato bug. This is exactly what it is, in case you were wondering. I'll give you a second to screenshot and read it for yourself. So now that you know what it is, will you be checking your pickles the next time you go grab a jar at the supermarket? So hit me up in the comments section and let me know if you've ever encountered or found one of these in your pickle jar.
Oh,
and as always,
family,
I'd
there
love
you have today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You know what to do if you made it this far, y'all. I don't do this in the beginning. I feel like you gotta earn this. I can't stand people in the beginning, like leave like, comment, make sure you guys share. No, save it for the end. Earn it. You know what I mean? Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you made it this far and you guys enjoyed the content, y'all. Segovia is feeling a little sore. That's how long I've been out the gym, y'all. 3 days in, I do a little 5-day split, right? This is where I saw my best results back in the day. I have chest day, back day, leg day, off day, shoulder day, arm day, off day, repeat. That's the split I like. That's what I enjoy. I used to do a 3-day on, 1 day off, 3-day on, but I like this split. But I'm sore. My chest, so far I hit my chest, my back, my legs today. So I'm gonna be sore coming up. Very light leg day because I know I haven't hit my legs in over, shoot, I don't even know. I've been running the mountain and hiking, but when you're doing some legs, you know what I mean? So I took it real easy, did a very light leg day, but surprisingly, I felt good doing my legs, y'all. So so far so good. Consistency is key. Got a vacation coming up in September. Got some time, y'all. Got some time to at least build some definition. You know what I mean? Segovia lost all his definition. I'm gonna have to post some pictures on my community for you guys to show you that a lot of people say you talk diet and you don't know shit, fat ass. You know what I mean? And I agree, right? I'm not in shape no more. But I'm gonna show you guys some before and after pics of how Segovia used to be, y'all. I'm gonna do that tonight when I go lay in bed. But anyways, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. Got Mama Bear over there waiting for me, telling me to go do your video. You should do your video. And then she's texting me, where you at? Like, what do you want? What do you want from me, lady? Just kidding, y'all. Just kidding. This is Segovia, signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow on the next one, y'all. Everyone have a good day. Later.